What's up, guys? It's HQ Avenger, and welcome to the Phillies offseason. This is the first offseason for this franchise, so it is a sort of big one, but I don't think we're going to be making many major moves. We're just going to let the young guys pretty much take over. So now we're going to be looking at the stats for this season right here. So obviously you can see right here, Chase Utley did play the most games for our team this year, which is quite surprising. He had a pretty good year, 19 homers, 250. Can't really expect more than that of him. That is a pretty good year for him at this stage of his career. So we did have some good performances this year by members of our team. For example, Ben Revere hit 298. I mean that's really what we should expect for him, being a contact leadoff hitter type of guy. But other players showed flashes of good things, like Nick Hundley, Odubel Herrera. They had pretty good seasons for the Phillies this year. Christian Vasquez in a short time played pretty well. Don Brown had a nice bounce back season, if you want to call it that. I mean, it's still not, what he was thought of when he, was a top prospect. Michael Franco had a pretty good year, although he missed the last month of the season. He's definitely a piece for the future. Ryan Howard hit for a pretty good average. He was hurt for a good portion of the season. Only had 13 homers, so that is down. I mean, he did have 400 at bats. You really expect Ryan Howard to have more than 13 homers and 400 at bats, but it is what it is. He did hit for a higher average and didn't have bad RBIs for how long he was really with the team, but I mean, still definitely not worth what his contract is. We're going to see if there's any way possible we could move him. It will happen, definitely. But yeah, so Cody Ashley, he also had a pretty good year. He was on fire in the beginning of the year, but he started to struggle towards the end. His average was over 300 at some point in the year, but it did drop all the way down to 250, but still a respectable season for him. So yeah, as I said, Don Brown, 19 homers, 52 RBI, so he definitely did have a good season. I mean, honestly, Chase Utley probably would be the best hitter we had on the season, but we really weren't a good offense at all, so can't really have anything to say about the best hitter. But just going through the other stats here, also Shane Victorino, I forgot to mention him. He did hit 300 on the season. Most of that was for the Red Sox, but now we're going to head into pitching. And so our pitching, it was pretty much hit or miss this year. Sometimes our pitching was dominant, as Aaron Harang, a good example. Some games, he had that great game in Milwaukee earlier in the year that I played. I had over 10 strikeouts and it was good. But then you also had, the last game of the season where he obviously allowed a lot of runs. Aaron Nola, he struggled when he was up with the big league team. It's kind of a discouraging situation, but other pitching prospects that are brought up, such as Lance McCullers, he actually pitched really well. His ERA was like 2.7 or something like that, I think. He only made a couple of starts, pretty much only played in September. But so now we go to the awards, and Chase Utley takes home a Gold Glove award. So that is big for the Phillies, But so now we're just going to take a little look at the season awards here. Just going to scroll through the National League awards pretty quickly. So yeah. So you can see there's Chase Utley, who obviously won the Gold Glove. We did not have any awards, well, any other awards for our team, I should say, but not very surprising to say the least. But yeah, so that is going to do it for there. And the Red Sox defeat the Cardinals in the World Series, so now we are officially in the offseason. Now it's basically just looking at stats. And Steve Henderson, our hitting coach, retired. Weren't going to bring back anyway, pretty much no matter what. So now we're just going to scroll through retirements. Going to point out any noticeable ones. Obviously, David Ortiz retires. R.A. Dickey retires. Scott Atchison retires. Joe Nathan retires. Torrey Hunters retires. So some fairly big names out there. Not the biggest retirees for this year. Bryce Harper, that is huge. He has a career-ending injury. That is absolutely huge. He's obviously one of the best players in baseball. So Bartolo Colon retires, no surprise. Dexter Fowler retires because of an injury. So it should be interesting to see how the league shapes up without these pieces. Obviously, Ichiro Suzuki retires there. LaTroy Hawkins finally retires. Guy played in the majors forever and was a pretty good reliever. So two inductees, David Ortiz and Ichiro Suzuki, both get into the Hall of Fame. And you see, David Ortiz did eclipse 500 home runs. So we're going to here sign Bobby Dickerson on here to be a coach for our team. I'm also going to sign Danny Garce to be a coach on our team. And that is going to be it for that. Now we're going to be heading into the player negotiations. We're going to be offering Jake Dietman a contract. So he is a pretty good left-handed reliever for us. Through playing this game, he's basically been hit or miss in my experiences. He either has a really good season or really bad season. So I'll see how that plays out. We're going to definitely bring back Ken Giles, one of the best relievers in the game. I think he does have the potential to be one of the best relievers in the game when he does reach his full potential. So I'm going to tell you right now, people, we're not going to bring back Cliff Lee or Shane Victorino. They're basically just veteran stopgap players, and that's basically what we're going to be looking for this year in free agency. Veteran stopgap players that we're going to be plugging in because we don't have young guys to fill in those spots quite yet, or we don't have them at all. So that's basically what we're going to be looking for. You might expect that I would try to go for a big name free agent this year, but I really want to keep our first round draft pick. I mean, I know in real life it would be first round protected because we would have a top 10 pick, but I don't really want to risk it because I don't know if this game is going to recognize that or not. So we're going to lock up Ben Revere, or at least try to lock him up for a couple of years past his arbitration season. But not many players on this team I really want to lock up for the long term, to say the least. I mean, there's not many too talented veterans I want to bring back. Justin DeFratis came in the close for us a couple times at the latter part of this year when, of course, after the Papelbon trade went down. I'm going to bring back Cody Ashley right here for a good amount. Here, he might be a key part to our future. Probably see him in left field in the future because, you know, obviously he is a converted first baseman, but so gonna just tweak that one actually a little bit there. Obviously gonna bring back J.P. Crawford, one of the top prospects in baseball. I'm really undecided of whether I'm gonna bring him back. Well, I mean, bring him onto the major league squad this year. I mean, you know, he at one side of it, you know, he is only 20 years old. I mean, the other side of it, I mean, his overall is ready. I mean, he's already as good or better than Freddie Galvis. So, I mean, with the bat, definitely, I mean, he can hold his own in the field. So, it'll be an interesting situation to play out. I mean, I'm obviously not going to have him up for the full season. I'm going to save that service time on him and prevent that extra year of service time. Will give us that extra year of service time. And so, Aaron Harang, obviously, we are not going to bring him back, although we may consider bringing him back as a veteran plug starter because I don't know if he will have enough starters in our rotation. Speaking of young guys, so obviously going to bring back Christian Vasquez, one of the key pieces of the Cole Hamels trade. Zach Eflin, just basically into our top prospects now, signing them back and doing that kind of stuff. So I'm not going to go too far into this because a lot of players that I know you don't care about and shouldn't care about because they will not make an impact with the team. So now, Ron Renicky, we're going to be offering him the manager job. That is right. Ryan Sandberg is out. I couldn't really decide which one, well, what I really wanted to do because, you know, the team didn't have much talent. We're also going to go after Kenneth Page here to fill a coaching position. And now we're going to get a trade offer from the Reds. Raisel Iglesias, who is a fairly young pitcher. I mean, he is 25, but he does have a B potential. And Don Brown is who we would be giving up. And I decided to do this trade basically because at this point, Don Brown, he's clearly not going to be the player we thought he would be when he was number one prospect. And now into the Rule 5 draft, we picked Gly Schlosser. He's a starting pitcher, going to go after Moses Sierra right there. So getting quite a few good players right here in this draft, this Rule 5 draft. Now we're also going to go after Travis Shaw. So these are basically just guys who we could plug in right now onto our major league team because we don't really have young guys to fill those positions yet. But we don't really see any more cheap options there. So we finally are able to move Ryan Howard, the biggest goal of the season. So we're going to bring in Giovanni Gallardo as basically a veteran stopgap player. I mean, he could have a good season and we could maybe be more competitive than I would think. But I expect us to be in the bottom of the division. So we signed Gallardo. We also signed Bud Norris. So just going to be setting up the pitching rotation right here, and that's going to do it for the off-season episode. So get ready for next episode to go into opening day. I'm excited. Hope you guys are excited with our new team. So thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to follow HQ Avenger on Twitter for news and updates about the channels, and I will see you guys next time.